G'day, Kevin Hillier and Steve Thom here with a preview of this week's games in the Western Region Footy League. In Division 3, it's round 9, Tom. It gets very mathematically confusing at this time of the year because there's a couple of divisions have different rounds. But round 9 in Division 3, let's have a look. Braybrook and Tarneit, easy win here for Tarneit.
Yeah, you assume so. They've got to travel down to penalty reserve, but should be no problem for Tarneit Titans. They'll bounce back after a loss last week.
Newport Power take on the Wyndham Suns, who had their first win of the year last week, but Newport Power at home, they just won't be beaten.
No, they won't be beaten at home, Newport Power. So 4 points for them again, and they're on a roll.
Sanctuary Lakes at home to Sunny Heights. It's an interesting one.
Could be good game. Sunny Heights coming off the break last week, and Greto we know is in great form, so they're going to have to keep an eye on him. Sanctuary Lakes they have to continue to play finals or to get in that top. If they've got aims of finishing in the top two, they need to keep winning. So important for them to get the 4 points. I think they will.
Parkside take on North Sunshine. Good win last week by Parkside.
Yeah, they're up and about. The Parker boys down at Parkside. That loss they had against Newport, it's just fantastic that it has got them back up. What did I say wrong then?
No, nothing.
Oh, okay. Good to think back and running and for something different. Parkside to get the points over North Sunshine.
All right, Laverton have the bye in Division 2. It's round 9 there as well. West Footscray take on Manor Lakes. Now, these two sides have struggled this year. Chance for one of them to get a good win.
It is. Look, West Footscray, they've really grown the last month or so in their football with numbers, and Manor Lakes are the same. I think we heard from Graham last week. They had, I think, 6 or 7 that missed out in a game in the reserve. So the numbers at both West Footscray and Manor Lakes, who have done it tough so far in 2016, is fantastic, and that's what it's all about. The doors are open. Survival, that's success. In the game itself, I just think West Footscray might get the 4 points at home. That'll be ecstatic for them if they do. Manor Lakes would be disappointed to lose, but I think West Footscray, I like what I've seen a few weeks ago against them in a big loss, but I like what I've seen a few of the things.
Yep. Shane Lucas and the boys might be up for a win there. Caroline Springs and North Footscray, Division 2 blockbuster.
Yeah, two very, very good sides. I know Sutton Lake, they're on the minds of the North Footscray coaching staff earlier on the season when Caroline Springs just got home that day. But North Footscray, just get the feeling their momentum's up and running. We mentioned last week the Montebruno brothers in their best. Sammy Cater.
You mentioned the Montebruno brothers.
Yeah, we have a few times, yes.
Oh,
no,
okay.
It's good to see them playing good football.
Yeah.
Don't forget this is taped a few days after, the last thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
Yes. Good to see. Also, Sam Cater.
National Monty Bruno Day, apparently.
Sammy Cater, the captain of the side. I know Matty Walsh mentioned they've given him a bit of a different role this year. He's got a licence to push forward. He's kicked something off the top, 20-odd goals. I would say 26. Yeah. So the rotations they're using and the flexibility they've got at North Footscray, I reckon might get them over the line. I reckon they would have learnt a bit over that loss to Caroline Springs in round 2 earlier on in the season. I reckon North Footscray will get home. All
right, and the final game in Division 2 is Glenorden and Yarraville Seton.
Yeah, Glenorden, momentum, obviously, they came to a bit of a halt last week with that big loss that they had. But, they're just going to keep plugging away down there. I mean, there's still a big chance of playing finals football this year, Glenorden. But Yarraville Seton Eagles, probably the game being postponed a bit early last week through reasons against West Footscray makes it a little bit harder, even the percentage part of it. So they'll be pretty keen, and that's what it's going to come down to, I think, in Division 2, that top 1 or 2 spots percentage could be the difference in the end. So Yarraville Seton Eagles will want to have a win, and they'll want to make sure they have a big win.
And just in terms of, we say, an incident, it was a player who was injured, who had a seizure, so it wasn't a brawl or any of that sort of stuff, which is usually associated with a game being called off early. Division 1 games, Altona and Sunshine, that's our radio match of the day. Should be a beauty.
Be a ripper. Two sides vying for a 4th or 5th spot, amongst a couple of others. Altona, a home ground advantage makes a big thing. This season, Kev, the home ground, which everyone bases, to win games there, it's important you do. Otherwise, you drop a couple at home and you're not going to be playing finals football. So, Altona with Post good last week. You got your Geordie Robbins, Magnaboscos, that are very good players, Russo's, Lenardis. They really, if they can fire themselves up, that's going to be a big plus for the Altona boys. But Sunshine Kangaroos, I don't have Searles back in the side as yet. They need to produce another couple of different goal kickers up forward. Stocko with a couple last week was good. Castellano, a couple of goals, but they need to get some more goal kickers inside their forward 50 Sunshine Kangaroos. So I'm going to go with Altona at home.
Yep, looking forward to that as a radio game with the Toms and the Hilliers and the Wilsons and the Cavalieries calling that one, and the Rainsfords.
We've got a big family reunion.
Yes. Wyndham Vale take on Deer Park. You can't see Wyndham Vale winning this one.
No, I can't. can't. They had a good win a couple of weeks ago, the Falcons, but back to reality a little bit. And they just haven't got the firepower to beat the top sides.
Spotswood starting to show some form. Take on Albion this week.
The depth of Spotswood, it's just growing stronger and stronger. We spoke about the top line players, the Langlands type of players, and Walsh, that can play, and Boyds that can play, and Sablage. All of a sudden now the Ryans and the Belbys and Bennetts and all these younger guys that are coming through, they can play the game. And I think they've got a pretty good spread down there at Spotswood. So, I reckon 4 points.
And the other game to finish off Division 1, Hoppers Crossing at home to Werribee Districts, playing for the inaugural We're Not Very Fond of Each Other Cup.
They do like each other. Surely, Kevin, surely over the years at school and that they would have some friendships. No, this is good. I love rivalry. I love the rivalry in our local football, and this is as good as it ever got from junior years all the way through. Two very, very good sides. Werribee Districts were very impressive last week. Hoppers Crossing just seem to be getting better and better. Their blend of players, the balance of players, I should say, down at Hoppers, from down that back line in Fletcher and Ferraris, absolutely fantastic. Arnott's another one. Yep. And then throw it forward, Skipper, got through Geordie Mead back in the lineup. They've got some great Players. Werribee Districts, we've seen the blend that they've got. Their tackling pressure is still as good as I've seen in this competition. I really can't pick this one. I'm going to go with a toss of the coin. I might just go with Werribee Districts to get over Hoppers, only because I seen them last week and I was very, very impressed with their last 40 minutes of football.
Hoppers at Hogan's just get home for me. Just.
Yeah,
all right.
Real tight one.
That's our look at the games coming up this weekend. Get out and see some local footy and enjoy.